Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the Pro-Am of England intermediate boxing gloves. So check it out. Hey guys, Carlo here. Today I'm doing a review on the Pro-Am of England intermediate boxing gloves. I got mine in this matte blue colorway, 16 ounces. It is a Velcro closure only model. You can get this anywhere between 10 and 16 ounces. Additional colorways, which all come in matte, include black, red, yellow, as well as lime green. The gloves are made of full, genuine leather construction with layered foam over the knuckle area that has a medium density, and I believe the gloves are manufactured in Pakistan. Now, Pro-Am is a company based out of England. They've been in business since 1995, so they've been around for a very long time now. And they specialize in all types of boxing equipment, not just their own branded equipment like Pro-Am, but they have Nike, Adams Boxing. They have all types of different brands. So if you're interested in checking them out, I'll put the link in the description below for their website. And the great news is they also ship internationally. So if you're not in the UK, that's completely fine. They can ship international to wherever you are located. Now, from a design standpoint, the intermediate glove to me is exactly what this is. This is kind of like their mid-range boxing glove. So when you go on their website, you can kind of make a comparison on the different models that they have. But to me, this is really kind of the best bang for the buck glove they offer. This is the type of glove that both a novice as well as a pro could use and be comfortable with using these, and these being very effective. It does come in this matte leather construction, so if you're a fan of matte leather, then these are right up your alley. If you're not, then you know everything is subjective. Some people are not a fan of matte, some people are. It just depends on you. That's completely subjective. For a 16-ounce glove, I would say that these kind of remind me of the Infinitude Stealth gloves. I've done a review on those Infinitude Stealth gloves, and those are actually were white matte as well. A couple of years ago, in terms of sizing, shape, and just overall feel, this is the Infinitude Stealth is really kind of what comes to mind with this particular glove. I'd say for a 16-ounce glove, in terms of profile, it's a little bit more on the compact side, which I'm a big fan of. I love compact gloves. I know I've mentioned that in other video reviews as well. So it's a little bit more on the compact side. It's not an overly huge 16-ounce glove. You do have that matte blue leather. It does say Pro-Am Boxing England right here on the back with the printed logo, which is basically the punch surface or the front side of a boxing glove. So you have the punch surface, it looks like an amateur boxing glove. The punch surface, and then you kind of have that thumb that comes down. That design to me is very it's like a 90s design. It kind of gives you that old school look. Some people are like, that looks pretty old school. I kind of like it because it just has a classic feel to it. You really don't see a lot of brands nowadays. They have very fancy designs with sharp edges and all types of designs to make it look nice, which is great. But I do like the simplicity and kind of that old school look of this kind of the front side of the boxing glove. It just kind of gives it a classic feel. Coming down, you have this huge 5-inch Velcro strap, and this is a full wraparound Velcro strap, which I'll show you here in a second, that gives you an ample amount of wrist support, almost a little bit too much, and I'll discuss that here in a second. But you do have a cloth patch on the back of the wrist, again the same logo with the white and blue. It says Pro-Am Boxing England, rotating around to the palm side. You do have that full wrap around Velcro strap, so it's basically double-sided. You have that big panel of Velcro there. That's the hairy side of the Velcro. This is the grippy side. And so basically you slide your hand in here, that first grip of Velcro grabs on, and then this whole entire strap wraps around and locks your wrist in. Now this right here is nice. It's a nice robust Velcro strap system. I wish it was a little bit higher up as well, like they tapered it, so you get a little bit more support on the lower portion of your palm, not just right down here on your forearm. So you do have that long Velcro strap, polyester satin liner on the inside with the weight tag for 16 ounces right there. You have, I'd say, about an inch of both firm and soft foam padding. The firmer side on the exterior of the glove, and the softer foam that lines up against your skin. I'd say about 3/4 to almost an inch of foam padding on the inside of the wrist on both sides. So you have it right here as well as on this side. And everything on here is completely matte blue, so there's no contrasting colors. Double stitching throughout, ventilated holes on the thumb, nothing on the actual palm. I'd say a good sized grip bar as well. And then you also have an attached thumb at the very tip of the thumb right there. Quality wise, these gloves are really solid. Again, I would say that these are pretty comparable to some of the higher end Pakistan made gloves. The leather is held up well. This mark actually right here on the punch surface, I think I actually dropped these on some keys in my duffel bag, so that's not the fault of the gloves or the manufacturing. That's actually my fault. There was a sharp object in my duffel bag and I put my glove on top and it kind of scuffed the surface of that leather. But the leather is held up really nicely for the past couple of weeks in the rotation. The logo, again, the more I sweat and I get more moisture on that, that's probably going to end eventually cracking and peeling. I expect that from all gloves that have these printed logos. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of when and not if it happens. But the stitching on here looks really good, where the thumb meets the index finger, the seam right there. I'm not a big fan of full color gloves or complete gloves that don't have any contrast. When they add the stitch, obviously that stitching is there if they were able to separate the two colors on the thumb, but because it's all one color, I don't know why they put the stitching there. And again, I've mentioned that in other videos where it's a solid color and they just decide to stitch. I think it's just a waste, to be honest with you. But the stitching on everything looks really good. Double stitching, it's all symmetrical. There's no issues with the edges, in terms of the stitching. The piping is nice and robust. The Velcro grabs nicely. The back of the wrist support stitching is done well. I do wish the cloth patch was recessed into the leather. I wouldn't necessarily say that the edges are sharp like a plastic patch, but it could definitely scuff somebody if you were to come in at the right angle and your forearm was to kind of go across someone's face if you didn't land flush on them. So again, I wish that was a little bit more recessed, and you might have to tape that off. You can see that the glove is pretty well balanced in terms of the distribution of weight. Now, speaking of weight, there was a big disparity. The left glove came in at, I think, 13.4 ounces, and the right glove is like 15.5. Now, these gloves are advertised at 16 ounces, and you can definitely tell that the left glove is lighter just by holding it compared to the right glove. So in terms of quality, they definitely need to fix that. Dial in the weight on both gloves. The fact that this left glove was 2 ounces, almost 2.5 ounces underweight, to me is a big issue, especially because the right glove is at 15.5. So in terms of quality, the weight to me is going to be the glaring problem with this glove. Comfort wise, open that up, you slide your hand into the glove. This is definitely one of the stronger points of the glove. You do have that full wraparound Velcro strap. Again, very comfortable hand compartment. Thumb positioning is pretty much perfect. Nice deep finger compartment, or thumb compartment, excuse me. When you make a fist, it doesn't pull down on the tip of the thumb, so you don't have to worry about the tip of your thumb jamming into the glove. Even when you're landing your punches and your hand shifts a little bit in the glove, I had no issues with the actual thumb jamming. The piping is loose enough on the fat part of your thumb right here to give you an ample amount of room. And you can feel a little bit of the liner throughout the glove. It's not completely flat and flush like you find with a lot of those tricot style liners that are more foamy. This is that more satin poly liner that tends to be a little bit on the baggier and looser side, but there's no areas here that it's really bunching up, so it doesn't bother me. You can definitely feel the grip bar and a second piece of neoprene that covers the stitching. And the other feature I like about this glove is it's pretty well broken in. It's going to soften up a little bit more, but right off the bat when you get these, it does have a nice broken in feel. The width of the finger compartment is perfect as well, not too wide and not too narrow. It has a little bit more of a compact feel, and that layered foam padding feels really good over my knuckles. Wrist support feels good. It's a little bit on the lower side. It's a longer glove, or should I say a taller glove in terms of height. So it does drop down. You can see my elbow. It does drop down on my forearm quite a bit. I wish that this amount of wrist support was higher up. You know, my wrist is basically right here. It actually missed my wrist. And you know, I think there's a misconception with wrist support. This is just supporting my forearm right here. My wrist is up here. So not just this glove from Pro-Am, but any of the gloves that use these oversized Velcro straps, to me, you need to go higher up to really lock the wrist in. If you're talking about wrist support, when you're throwing your punch and you're landing on the bag or whatever you're landing on, this is where it's going to be where it's going to be flexing. right here, that section. So if you were to move this an inch up higher, then you're gonna prevent that bending of the wrist. And that to me is the whole point of that. And so you have this oversized Velcro strap, but it sits a little bit too low. You know, again, everyone's dimensions are different. So this might be on a heavyweight that has super long arms, and this might land right on their wrist, unlike me. But again, everyone's built a little bit differently. So in my opinion, for an average sized person, I feel like the Velcro strap is a little bit too low. But other than that, comfort wise, these gloves are very comfortable. Protection and performance. This to me is really just a perfect training glove. You can use this for hitting the mitts, doing bag work, doing some sparring with this, really everything in the gym. And the type of foam, the layered foam padding they use on here really affords that. You get a great amount of feedback out of this. A good balance of both protection, feedback, and pop. It's definitely not a puncher's glove. It's not an overly protective, rock solid glove either, where it just feels like you have a ton of padding and it has no give whatsoever. It's kind of right there in the middle. So I like the name of it, intermediate, because I feel like that's kind of where it is. It's just kind of right in the middle. It does everything really well, you know, and you could really lay into the shots with it, and good amount of protection. I don't feel like my thumb is uncomfortable. You can work all your punches, straight punches, uppercuts, hooks, and it's very comfortable throughout the entire glove. Good amount of shock absorption, good amount of feedback right in the middle when it comes to the performance and the protection of this glove. Cost-wise, these gloves come in at 75 British pounds, which converts to about 91 US dollars, obviously plus shipping. I think it's a really good price. I mean, it's a sub $100 glove. That's full genuine leather. I like that it's a little bit more on the compact side for a 16-ounce glove. Really nice padding, very comfortable, aesthetically looks really nice. If I were to say if they could change anything, obviously it would be to fix the weight of the gloves, maybe to increase the height of the strap, bring it up a little bit higher, offer more colorways. They do have lace-up gloves as well. They're not called the intermediate glove, but they're very similar, and they do make them in lace-up. And maybe other colorways that are not matte. But overall, for a sub $100 glove, I think these are a really great bang for buck. Now, if you're located over there in the UK, then these would definitely rank high up there when it comes to bang for buck, gloves. Out here, even in the United States, even if we were to pay for the international shipping, these are definitely solid gloves. Again, if I were to compare to anything, these would be very comparable to like the Infinitude Stealth gloves in terms of shape and just the way they feel. But overall, very solid glove, very impressed with these. If you guys have any questions or comments, you guys know what to do, put them down below. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Pro-Am intermediate boxing gloves. I'll see you guys later. Take care.